Indonesia. And my lovely guest is Ras Muhamad.
Hello, everyone.
Greetings, the Rasta man sing. Salam, salam, salam.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
All
Can't
right.
complain. Living in Bali, so paradise on earth.
So where were you before?
I was in Jakarta and been based in Bali for about 5 years now. I was living in Canggu, but then it got a bit too crowded with the tourism and all.
Okay.
I want to find someplace more quiet.
More peaceful.
Yeah, and it's more, it has more creative energies in here, you know. A lot of artists, a lot of dancers, poets, and all that. So it's, yeah.
So is Ubud the most creative part or artsy part of Indonesia?
Not necessarily. There are a few parts like in Yogyakarta, Surabaya, and Bandung, but the one that is closer to nature, I can say it's Ubud.
Oh.
Yeah, it's more like natural settings.
Okay.
Or the other places that I mentioned, they're more like big cities.
Okay. I'm from an island, Jamaican. We're here. You're from an island.
Yes.
So for many
Yeah,
islands.
many islands.
Oh my gosh, 13,000 islands.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. Well, thank you for that information. We have quite a few.
And something we have in common is, you know, Jamaica's birth baby reggae music.
Yes.
And so I know you're in reggae, but lots of your fans know that you're in reggae. And but for Jamaican people who don't know what you do, why reggae, and what's the response to the reggae music that you do and the type of reggae that you do?
Okay.
Yes.
Why reggae? Well, it's more like a natural calming, I guess. It's like this natural process. Yeah, I mean, I love music in general, and I think music is pretty much my calling, and pretty much I picked up that calling since I was a youth. And I'm very eclectic and very diverse in my music. I mean, I grew up with traditional Indonesian music and Indonesian pop music. My mom and dad listened to those music. But then I grew up also with rock music. Actually, the first time I picked up an instrument is because of rock music.
Okay.
You know, but then I had the opportunity of living in the States, in New York. That's because of my mom's career. So I lived there and I was introduced deeply more into like hip hop music. But then, other than that, I had a cousin. They used to listen to a lot of mixtapes, and it's more dancehall tapes, and in which I was familiar with rap music. And he played those mixtapes, but I couldn't understand the language. I was like, "What is this?" And he told me it's reggae.
Yeah.
You know. So when we grew up in the '90s, reggae was dancehall, dancehall was reggae.
Okay.
So now, even though now
It's
today
split, yeah.
it's like a split. It's like, oh, reggae is reggae and dancehall is dancehall.
Yeah.
Back in the days, it was just like, you know, the same. It came from the same culture. You know.
Okay.
So that it started from there, and it just evolved. I played in rock bands when I was in high school, but then I also experimented with more of hip hop. Then I find myself that I can vocally express myself the best in reggae music.
Okay.
That's for the expression, because I can also play drums and guitar, but I also love singing, but I'm not really a singer. And I like rapping, but I'm not really a rapper. So I found that way in
That
which
midway.
that midway, because you know DJing has a melody in it.
Okay,
And
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the best way, and it
Okay.
feels like every time I DJ, it's like I try to translate a drum in my head into vocals. That's pretty much it. So that's how-
Interesting. Because like while you're speaking, your song in my head is a salam,
Salam, salam.
And
Yeah.
you know when you like and then na 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 na
Yeah.
yeah. So I pick up that dancehall kind of reggae vibes
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it. So
Very
okay.
percussive. It's still, the dancehall vibe is still there.
Besides language, how have you fused your Indonesian culture with the reggae, like song-wise, instrument-wise?
I have a few songs of mine, quite a few in my catalog that I incorporate traditional instruments or sometimes traditional Indonesian chanting.
Okay.
One of the ones that are really like a hybrid of pretty much traditional Indonesian music with reggae music is this tune called Leluhur. Leluhur means ancestor. Leluhur.
Okay.
Leluhur. So the notations itself is like very much a bit like traditional Jawa music. It's like Leluhur berikan waktu, kumohon dengarkan nyanyianku, and then the hook would be oh ae, like Indonesian chanting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I try to combine that.
I know you've done some works with some Jamaican artists.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm very blessed and thankful for
Could
that.
you mention? Yeah, talk about that.
One of them is Mr. Kabaka Pyramid. Yeah, about his lyrics is accurate. So Kabaka and also with Kelisa.
Yes.
Kelisa, yeah. And, well, they're pretty much my friends. So
Yeah.
the whole quote-unquote reggae revival
Yeah.
with like King Dig's protege and all of that. So yeah, I
So
work
you-
with them either on stage or perform with them live or on recordings and all of that.
Oh.
Funny thing, one of the things that I had the opportunity when I had the collaboration with Kalisa, Chronix was engineering, and I was so nervous. It was like being starstruck and all
Yeah.
of that, and it took so many takes. And Kelly was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yes." Wow, my mind is just like, it's Chronix, you know. And it was like during the time before he released Chronology.
Yeah.
So while in the studio, he had already like set this, and I was like, oh, my God. I feel like busting the picture and then posting it, but I know I'm gonna get in trouble for it, leaking it and all of
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a fantastic experience.
Yeah, very much. Very much.
And Chronix is just really diverse and creative
yeah,
on a
very
level
much.
that is just.
Yeah, he's extremely talented, especially for his age. Like, I admire him and many others very
Okay.
much. Very inspiring. The
Yeah.
reggae revival movement. I don't like calling it a reggae revival.
Yeah, I know, right? Because reggae never died,
Yeah, I
and
know.
it's always been there and been
Yeah, yeah.
strong, right? So I call it new age reggae, really.
New age reggae.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a thing calling it a reggae renaissance.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, renaissance is pretty much like a rebirth.
Right.
A rebirth, and in which renaissance is always like artists support each other.
Right.
Because like these ones, they always like support each other.
Yeah.
Every time they have a work release, and it's like everyone's like reposting, remembering all the words and all of that. It's like, oh, it's definitely a whole movement, and it's
That's
very
right.
united.
I like that reggae renaissance.
Yeah.
That's much better.
Sort of revival is like,
Exactly,
"Ooh,
like,
what are you
what
reviving?
died?"
You never die. you know?
Exactly.
It's like what happened to the ones like Sizzla and like Capleton and all of that.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly. And so, have you ever performed in Jamaica?
Yes, I did. That was in 2015.
Oh wow.
2015. I was invited by a good friend of mine. His name is Alex Morrissey.
Okay.
He's the chief of JamaicasMusic.com. Actually, when he launched his website in Indonesia, I helped him also. So
Okay.
we launched it to my Indonesian radio audience.
Yeah.
So then, I think like by the end of 2014, he showed me on his laptop. He's like, "Hey, I want to invite you to Jamaica, and you're gonna perform with these guys." I'm like, "Oh, right." So, the screaming thing inside. It was like Kabaka, Keznam, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think pretty much this would be the 5th year anniversary where I performed the first time.
Oh wow.
In Jamaica. I was in Ronnie Williams Center.
Entertainment center.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh nice.
Mhm.
Big holy people come out and things.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
So that was
nice.
nice,
Yeah.
It was a nice turnout and great response.
Nice.
And a lot of people gave a lot of feedback. And they say that I was quite the highlight of the night.
Wow.
Because they see someone from the far east from
Exactly.
Indonesia. It's like, oh, and I offered something, a bit different to how reggae music has evolved and touched so many different parts of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one amazing thing I found here, being here, is like there's Bob Marley playing everywhere.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's like I even bumped up a store that was selling, Rasta earrings
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. I was like, wait there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I really feel not far from home here, honestly. And I just feel the love when I tell people I'm Jamaican, they're like, everybody starts singing some reggae song,
Yeah, of course, of
and
course.
then they want me to sing, which is really cool. So tell me about the festivals, the reggae festivals on this side of the
Okay.
world, 'cause
Well, reggae is quite big time, but it's still, you can say, it's still underground. Meaning, there's a lot of fans, but one of our challenges is keeping an international reggae festival,
Okay.
inviting international reggae artists. So we probably do maybe like once every 2 years, something like that. It's like
Okay.
for international acts.
and that's in Indonesia.
That's in Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think in all of Asia, I can bravely say we're the second biggest
Oh.
in terms of fans.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Who's first?
Japan, of course.
Japan, of course.
Japan, they've been doing their thing
Yeah.
for like ages, you know.
I know, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
sound system guys
I
that
know.
if you don't look at them, you think it's a Jamaican.
I know, right?
So how has it been for you as an artist in your industry, trying to get out there? You know,
in the Indonesian industry.
in the reggae industry, going on tours. You know, in the broader world.
Okay.
Yeah, how's that been going for you? Has it been positive? Have you been
It's,
going to more shows?
It's been positive, but there's still many challenges and struggles I have to
And what
face.
kind of challenges?
For one thing, I still have the sorry to say, like this feeling that a lot of people will see me as a gimmick.
Oh.
You know, it's like Asian guy playing reggae instead of just like, you know,
Yeah.
expressing myself in reggae.
Right. And how have you gotten or tried to get over that challenge to prove yourself?
Well, I don't need to prove myself.
Like that.
That's one of the things. Just keep making music, you know. And I think I've evolved for the last couple of years, and especially for this new project of mine, this album that I've been working on for about 3.5 years. It's a very proud and humbling work because it's quite challenging, and also it's gonna hopefully change a lot of people's perspectives. So maybe
Okay. When is this new album coming out?
it's coming out in May.
Oh,
It's coming
okay.
out in May 2020. I've been releasing a few singles already. The first one is late last year, 2019, called Thin Red Line, and then I released another one called Step It with Tipari and Noise Killer. And I released another one, Pistol Parabellum, and this new one, Jawara.
Thin red line, jauh. Segala hal yang ada di dunia selalu relatif. Teror atau bela diri di Gaza dan Tel Aviv. Sebatas genre ataupun busana. Kingston, Jamaica jangan dilupakan. Karena one love bukan sebatas ucapan. Diri bagaikan singa ambasa. Lakukan segalanya dengan basmalah. Yeah, you are a champion. Keep on moving like a bullet. No way you stand down.
I mean, for me as an artist, I like to pick out exotic titles. People ask me like, "What is Pistol Parabellum?" You know, like what is this? What is
Yeah.
this? You know, so yeah.
So does it have a story behind?
Yes, actually, it's autobiographical.
Oh, the whole album?
The whole album.
Wow.
Like when I piece it together, I mean, it's pretty much how I was inspired. And maybe, let's say, if I was in Barawa Beach, somewhere in Bali, maybe I come up with 1 or 2 lines. I'll come up with the melody, but then I would be touring and we'll come out with another piece. And I was in Kingston, and it came out. And so it's all pieced together.
Okay.
And then afterwards, like, oh, this is like a whole story. It's actually, so the album is called Satrio.
Okay.
Satrio is another Sanskrit Indonesian word saying
Okay.
knight or warrior, but it tells a story of so it's pretty much coming back again, autobiographical. It starts with a man who's very vulnerable and broken because I've lost my father, and also during that time, it was in a short time was in a very toxic relationship. So in that time, so I was heartbroken and all that, and so pretty much the album starts off as a man broken, but then he goes into this inward journey, finding himself. And at the end of the album, he realizes he is a part of a bigger cosmic consciousness and all of that. And it tells the whole story. So, like, say I released Pistol Parabellum. To understand Pistol Parabellum, you have to understand the track before that.
Okay.
So it's pretty much like, oh, you know, it's like, so there's a lot of strands, stems, and also echoes of lyrically, sonically, and all that. I'm
Wow.
really proud of it. So it's like,
Yeah.
wow, it's like, oh, this is like pretty much like a movie in an album.
An
Yeah.
album, right? So will you be? I hate to release whatever your
No, it's
your
alright.
idea, but will you be like doing a music video that will just flow into each songs and turn the album into an audio visual?
Well,
Sell
that would be
DVDs.
my dream right now, but right now it's like I'm an independent artist,
Right.
so I work with what I have right now. But it would be my dream to have like every track on like a music video. So right now, what we have is just mostly like video lyrics.
Okay.
I mean, I've released Jawara in actual music video, but other than that, like video lyrics.
Okay. And so far from Parabel,
Pistol Parabel.
I love the visual for
Oh, you've seen it?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lyrics and West Wild Wild West.
Yeah, Wild Wild West, yeah.
Do you have a graphic artist that you work with regularly, or?
I have a few. Some of them are just expanding their catalog, so
Okay.
giving like a chance
Okay.
for them to like experience and also experiment with whatever they have in mind with me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you kind of give them a touch of your idea and they
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
rest?
and they were like,
Oh,
expand
okay.
it, yeah.
Awesome. So how is it being an independent artist trying to get your own team together? Like your manager, your road manager, the graphic artist, the videographers, the photographer. How is it, you being a one man? Is it that way for you, or?
Pretty much a one man. One man with quite a big team, but that team, I consider them as a family.
Oh, okay.
I mean, for my vision and dream as a musician, as an artist, I also want to like expand as a business empire, in which I can make everyone in my team first and foremost to be prosperous.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being here and allowing your time for the interview. And I want to thank Ezriam for allowing me to be here in Indonesia, and Professor Michael Morrissey, thank you, and all my sponsors who have sponsored me to be here, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.